Okay,
Thank you.
And now, Mr. Cutler Group, it's your turn to respond to that question.
Well, you know, listening to this, I have to start out addressing what the Reverend said, because that's really at the crux of what we're hearing from the other side. Well, I wouldn't do that. But, you know, I have a sensitive ear, and I heard certain things that I find distressing, to be honest with you. What happened in terms of the civil rights movement, we had a dark age in this country, and there was slavery and it was racism. We're not talking about slavery or racism. We're talking about people's immigration status, and it is a colorblind status. And I want you to know that back in 1976, I stumbled across a terrorist plot to blow up an oil refinery in Israel. We prevented it. As a result, I had a working relationship with the Israelis no one else ever had. And because of it, I probably arrested more illegal Israelis in New York than any other agent. Bottom line is, it wasn't because I was anti-Semitic, I happened to be Jewish. It was a matter that they were here in violation of law, seeking to flee from prosecution in Israel for committing murder and drug charges and bank robberies and so forth. All we're saying is that the local governments need to use the federal laws in a way that discourages illegal immigration, period. I've said it on Lou Dobbs, I have said it when I've gone before the United States Congress. Nobody would break into an amusement park if they couldn't get to go on the rides, and no one stays at the amusement park at the end of the day when you shut off the lights and turn off the rides. If you are here illegally and we create an environment that does not allow you to operate normally within our borders, then it is my hope that it will discourage more illegal immigration and encourage those people who are here in violation of law to leave the United States. As to the soldiers who are serving, my hat is off to them. They certainly have proven that they are committed to our country, but they have been made citizens and they will be able to apply for their families to remain here. So let's not compare apples with elephants. It doesn't work. It's an emotional appeal, and I understand that. But, you know, look, we separate children from their parents when parents go to jail for committing violations of law. No one says you're not going to go to jail because you have children. It's a matter of responsibility to set the proper standards for your child and to be a good role model, and we can't bring the whole world here. Once again, when we talk about the situation that we're confronting, we can't have all of Mexico live here. As it is, $22 billion was wired home to Mexico by people living here illegally last year. We need to have laws that are enforced and obeyed.
Our next question. Our next question is this. I'm sorry, you can't. I'm sorry, the rules forbid it. But let's move on to our next question. And this time the Cutler Group begins the answers. Should employers face sanctions, including the possibility of jail time, for hiring undocumented workers? Cutler Group.
The federal laws do require that they spend time in jail and pay a big fine, and I for one, do believe that this is exactly what's happening. Most of the activists that support the illegal alien community in this country don't realize that because they're supporting them, they're really hurting the illegal aliens more than anybody else. More than the Mexican police before they cross the border, more than the SETA who are raping and hurting the people coming over, more than the desert in Arizona that beats you and kills you in the desert by draining you out of all the water that you have in your body. And there's several people that have died. What happens here, and it's happened here in Texas, state of Texas, young lady was working for an air conditioning company in Houston. She was one of the supervisors. She was asked to train some people in the job that she was doing. She was let go. The illegal alien that was hired in her place, the person she trained, was paid half the wages. But they don't realize that within 2 or 3 weeks later, or a month later, that illegal alien's wages is going to go down again. So these activists that are supporting the illegal alien community are coming over here. By the way, they break the law once they cross that fence. Don't realize that these people, they're hurting these people more than anybody else. Yes, those that hire illegal aliens and abuse them should be fined, and in some cases, their license should be taken away. Not only that, any union members here, in a very short while, all unions will be gone because there won't be any members. So consequently, ladies, yeah, corporations should be fined, and those corporate CEOs should be put in jail.
Mr. Rodriguez, thank you. Mr. Garcia, again, the question, should employers face sanctions, including the possibility of jail time for hiring an undocumented worker?
All right now. I totally agree with this one. I believe every employer, the guy that builds a carnival, probably illegally, to use your terminology, the guy, right, the guy who does the electricity, the guy who mows the yard, the guy who cleans up the ride afterwards, if that employer brings him over, definitely he should go to jail. Let's think about that. Who do you think cleans the beds at this holiday? Who do you think is going to vacuum today at this Holiday Inn? The owner of this Holiday Inn should go to jail. You know, Paris Hilton's doing jail 45 days for driving drunk or something like that. Why aren't all the Hiltons put in jail? And all the Marriotts, and Bo Pilgrim, and all of those individuals ought to go to jail. Let me finish that. Mr. O'Hara had two ordinances. One would punish those. But you see, 80% of the tax base of Farmers Branch is paid by those businesses. And all those owners went to jail, and they took their businesses out of Farmers Branch. Each one of you would have to pay $10,000 more a year. Think about that.
If you look at the Justice Department's track record on this subject, you will notice that the deportations have been increasing dramatically. But if you see how many corporations have been taken to task on this subject, there's been few and far apart. The big ones like Tyson is an example of Walmart. They walked out of court without any convictions. I wonder why. They're the biggest employers in the world. I wonder why. Thank you.
Coming up next, after a quick break, our final question. This is our final break and our final question about the future of Farmers Branch when we all wake up on Sunday morning, right here on Simulating Talk 570 KLIF.